Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I'm here today as part of the Mix It Up Monday YouTube and Instagram hop where we start with a sketch. And today our sketch is by Brandy Jo, who is now on one of the design teams with me, so I'm excited for that. And she's newer to sketches, so go check her out. And this is the sketch we're working with today, so let's dive in. So I really didn't know where I was going to go with this sketch. Because of that bold geometric shape. I wasn't quite sure what story I wanted to tell, so I just flipped through photos on my photo app on my phone camera roll until I found some photos that I thought, hey, this could work. And then because these are photos from an online crafty event, I decided to pull out my file of craft theme supplies. And this is kind of where things started going wrong. I don't feel like everything went quite smoothly with this layout, but it's fine in the end, and I'll talk about all of that along the way. So I am sorting through all of my crafty papers and trying to find the things that I want to use, and I'm really focusing in on some of the icons that catch my attention. And part of the problem with doing that is that I end up with a lot of paper that doesn't have much contrast to it. And part of the success of the sketch is the contrast of colors between all of the patterns. Okay, I'll pause there for a second. You'll probably see some of the other hoppers do this if you follow along with everybody, and they'll all be linked up below, so you can go check them out, leave them some love too. Everybody's probably going to approach this triangle creation differently. I am cutting my papers down into 6-inch by 12-inch wide strips, marking the middle at the 6-inch point, and then cutting from the corner to that middle to form my triangles. And that's just kind of, there's other ways to do it. I have a little ruler kind of thing that you can draw a straight line across the diagonal of a whole sheet of paper. But at any rate, that is where my triangles went. And here is the first iteration of this layout, and I should have stuck with this iteration because it has a lot more contrast to it than what I end up with. But see, I was so focused on getting some of these crafty icons onto this layout that I kind of missed the bigger picture. But that's just how it goes sometimes. And while I was kind of frustrated in the moment, I'm sitting back going, it's okay. It's just paper. It's okay. It doesn't have to be a big deal. So one of the things I'm trying to do to help create more contrast between all of these papers is to highlight the edges of the papers with an ink pen. And you'll see me switch that out in a little bit for a thick marker so that I will get a much bolder line between those. And then I've got my photos matted, and you'll see me change that up later too because it's covering up too much of the areas that I was trying to show off in choosing these papers. So, I chose these papers for a specific reason. Oh, here's where I switched out my marker or my pen for a marker so that you can see those bolder lines, and that helps delineate the papers a little bit more. So at any rate, with my photos, I peel them back off the mats and try to decide what to do. I didn't have enough paper to mat them both on the right size of paper scraps to mat them both on the same thing. So I decided to go ahead and just mat them on the two different pieces of paper that I had as a double mat originally. So I'm trimming all that down to get it ready to go, and I start trying to decide on a final orientation for this. And when I was using my pen to highlight the edge of the paper, it slipped and drew all over that upper triangle of paper. And so putting the photos in this orientation covers up that mistake. And so that makes me a little bit happier. And I'm trying to just get them lined up so that those patterns will peek out. And then I've decided, because all of the patterns are white on white on white, I wanted to add kind of this shadowing. And this is basically all of the mixed media I'm doing this time. It is nothing spectacular or complicated. And you know what? It doesn't always have to be. Sometimes I do like to get gooey and messy, but sometimes, especially like with this layout when I felt like things weren't going well, slowing down and just keeping things simpler can help get over that hump. And then I decide to pull out a calligraphy pen, and I will link you up to this pen. Part of what I like about this particular one is it has a really flexible yet solid nib to it, and you can push on it and get thicker lines and tip it up, and it'll hold its shape to get nice thin lines. So I really like this one. I've got it in black and gray. And I did cut down a bunch of pieces of scratch paper so that I could practice on this. And my first attempt here, it wasn't centered well enough onto that block that I had sized to become my title block. So I'm trying again and again and again. And I know that my calligraphy needs a lot of work, and it does take me several times. So I knew right off the bat that I was going to have to do this more than once. And that's why I pre-cut extra papers for this. And speaking of calligraphy, I think that is its own media. There's a lot of people who are just calligraphers. And so I'm counting this as part of my mixed media here when I'm doing a calligraphy title. So it's not a traditional thing that you might think of, but here we go. I've got one that I am satisfied with. Is it amazing calligraphy? No. Do I need it to be? No. I know that I'm in the learning process, so I am satisfied when things can come out well enough. And I got my journaling on there with the calligraphy pen to help kind of tie that in a little bit more. And I will leave you just with a couple of close-ups because I didn't even do any extra embellishing on these pages because I thought those pattern papers were busy enough. Thanks so much for watching. Do go check out everybody else's layouts on this hop because they will have more mixed media for you, most likely. So that's how it goes this time. Until next time, have an artful day.